All right, everybody. Welcome to, I believe it's the 30th weekly dev call. I apologize. We forgot to upload last week, so we're going to do it double time this week. We're going to upload last week's call and this week's call. So yeah, it's week 30. And as I was mentioning, we are near the end of the year. We've got, I think, maybe 7 more weeks to go or something like that till end of 2023. And so a really exciting times. Thanks everyone for showing up. And as I was saying earlier, the Pacific time zone had gone ahead of 1 hour, the daylight savings time. So I think that kind of messed with a lot of people's schedule, especially in Europe or Asia. So those who've made it, really appreciate you sticking around and waiting an extra hour. And something that I've been thinking a lot about, which we'll talk more about soon, is just kind of thinking about the structure of these weekly dev calls. And one of the main purposes of this dev call that the reason why we started it is we wanted it to be a time for us to work together as a community, for us to kind of have that forum to discuss any technical issues or problems, or and just help each other build amazing experiences. And so Angela from the FP team and the devs, we've kind of like starting to explore an alternative idea where perhaps these sessions is something we invite a few specific companies on, and then we can sit down and really like jam together on like what are the challenges and how best to kind of like build an enticing TBA experience. So that's something that's coming down the pipeline. I don't know if it will be for the next weeks, but I think that it will be really interesting to have these sessions, to invite like one or two companies and be like, all right, for the next hour, let's just like go through, how things are working, and what can we do to support one another. So all of that will be broadcasted, and then other folks can kind of like learn a lot more, because I think with these weekly dev calls, we get a lot of like surface level quick discussion points, which is amazing. But I think what we really lack is the depth, right? Like the nitty gritty. So that's something that we're currently thinking about, and we'll definitely update folks as we kind of like explore like a different time slot and also a different format. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I think we're ready to kick it off. Are there any new folks? I'm looking around the room here. Typically right now we would be doing introductions. So let me just see here. Sarlev, apologies if I said your name wrong. Sarlev, have you introduced yourself before? How about David or Kingter? Have you guys introduced yourself before? Silence. Yes, I did. Sweet. Okay. I'm head of growth of AirZac. Oh, nice. That's perfect. Thank you, David. I guess I'll put a spotlight on Jason. How are things, Jason? Are you going to Dev Connect, or what's cooking on your end?
Sorry. Nice to be back on the call. It's been a few weeks. I know Joseph on our team has been there for a while. I'm not going to make it to Dev Connect, actually. We decided to skip Turkey this year. But we are going to be at ETH India, and we'll be pushing ERC 6551 Tokenbound accounts to everyone there. ETH India is December 8th, and it's massive. It's the largest globally of the Ethereum hackathons. Team Airstack, it continues to do more and more to support 6551 builders. We updated to the newest registry. You can traverse up and down the trees and build all sorts of explorers and ways to visualize holders of 6551s. And we are adding support for the base blockchain early next week. So we'll have then 6551 accounts and NFTs that they own on Ethereum, Polygon, and Base, and then we'll do more after that. I think that's it for now. We're also working on some additional features, but we'll talk about them more as they come. Yeah.
That's awesome, Jason. Yeah, that's really amazing work there. And yeah, that's the type of stuff I think, like having a spotlight, like even like a full session with Airstack, and kind of going through like what sort of things can be built with the API and SDK and all of that. So that's really cool. Yeah, I think from our end, there's one thing that I've been thinking a lot about is besides the market going up, like that, I don't even really watch the charts, but the main thing that I've been kind of thinking about is I wrote a tweet thread about this. Is I think in the next 6 months or so, we're going to see an explosion of a new wave of a lot of interesting projects. It's kind of a bittersweet news, but you see a lot of folks, even a lot of my good friends from OpenSea, and other blue chip companies. You've probably seen the announcements that they've been laid off or let go. And yeah, definitely like a bittersweet moment, but ultimately I think what that does is it introduces an entirely new talent pool back into the ecosystem. And there are a lot of folks just like us who are like, been itching for, launching new projects, leveraging, some of the new tech that's been out there, new standards. And so I think personally, it's really exciting that now there's like all these folks that are like thinking about TBAs, and they're thinking about ZK syncs and L2s. People are thinking about passkeys and provisioning wallets like AA or MPC. So I think we have like the right chemistry, the right mixture of like talent and tech and motivations that I think, and I'll highlight Fabian's project that he's working on. Maybe Fabian will do a demo one day, or maybe it's today or one of these weeks. But yeah, I think that it's a really exciting time, to be honest. Like me myself, I've had the chance to be part of the NFT space since 2017, and kind of witnessed like the ups and downs, and and I always say that this kind of like bear period brings about a lot of new builders. So definitely stick around, keep building, keep kind of iterating, and you're gonna catch that wins. So cool. So that's kind of like my spiel. Just some news for everybody. Jaden's gonna be gone for a few weeks. He's in the middle of dealing with family matters, good family matters. He might have a second one coming. So yeah, he's gonna be away. He might pop in here and there, but if you see, he's a machine. He's still answering on Telegram a lot, but he's certainly busy right now. So in light of that, I'm going to pass the torch to BJ and Jersey and Ray if there's any SDK updates or general updates. So BJ, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. There have been a couple of small SDK updates that have gone out in the last week, a lot of maintenance and prep. One thing that I think would be really key to highlight, though, is that I put out a poll on Telegram a couple of days ago. So if you scroll back on the Telegram and just make sure you answer, it would be super helpful for us. We were asking, excuse me, sorry, my alarm's going off. We were asking people who are using the SDK to share a little bit of information about which Web3 framework they're using, because at this point we're supporting 2 different versions of Ethers and VM, and it would be good moving forward to just know what the breakdown of users is there. so that we can get a better sense of where to focus our energies and whether the work that we're putting into it is going to use. So I would really appreciate it if anyone could answer the poll there. It's really beneficial for us. Druzy, do you have anything on your end?
I don't have anything major right at the moment besides kind of the default UI updates that we made as we launched V3, which is kind of switching back and forth between your V3 accounts. We do have planned and in the works right now a lot of new exciting developments for the UI and UX of our Tokenbound.org app, and as we kind of add in some new major features to go along with it. It's a little early to maybe go into detail about it, but as they come out and get closer, I'll definitely run through it with y'all.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely. I think if you haven't seen the form, BJ, if you want to pin it again, for folks to share their opinions on it, I think it's important because there's a lot of background work. I'm sure Jason and other developers know to upkeep like all these different standards and do a lot of testing. So we just want to make sure like the ones that you guys support the most is the ones that we upkeep, and then the ones that people don't use, like we should definitely have a conversation and kind of go from there. So definitely check out the poll, and if you've already voted, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And if you know any other builders, definitely have them chime in because this is quite important. Cool. So I think that's it for updates from our team. I guess high level for us is just from now to the end of the year, a lot of our focus is around refining the UI of the Tokenbound.org. We really want it to be the home for folks that are new to TBAs, that are navigating their Tokenbound accounts and they want to use it. As Druzy kind of mentioned, we got a few things that we think is really interesting relating to existing NFT owners. So that's kind of it's going to be our big focus for the the rest of the year. And another thing that would be kind of interest to folks is we as a team, as you know, before 6551 we were building consumer apps for streetwear fashion companies in the NFT space. So we're actually starting to experiment with some toy or try to build some toy experiments that we think are really interesting in the TBA space. So these are the keyword is toys. For I think upcoming devs to like take a look at it and be like, oh wow, like I didn't think that TBAs could be used for that purpose. So we'll keep you guys posted. We're building alongside you guys as well, and so that's what I think is important, is that we get to use all the services like Airstack and the SDK and all of that, and iron out all the bugs if we come across them. So. Cool. With that said, I think we can switch into demos. So raise of hands if folks are prepared and want to do a demo today. I know Steve already volunteered. So I'm going to give you the mic first, Steve. But any other folks that are planning to do a talk or do a demo, raise your hand now, and then we'll come to you. So, Steve, I think you have co-host an ability to share, so I'll give you the mic now.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Benny. Yeah, so I think a lot of us, or a lot of you might know, so my name's Steve. I'm from Pinata, and we entered into ETH Global online a few weeks ago now, or a month ago now, and presented our project Cosmic Cowboys. And it was basically our approach to try to do NPCs with 6551, because that's something we've always been interested in, and trying to introduce AI into that as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I'll basically show you our work in progress. We're basically taking our app and redoing it and taking it to production. So let me exit this one. And so this is basically the new interface that we're making. And the goal is to kind of launch this probably within the next month to production and let people engage. And we're adding in a whole bunch of extra features to make it more dynamic, interesting, and something for people to play with. But essentially, some of the things we added is like some helper functions, so you can it's all terminal based. You can see what stuff is available, what you can do, and we're trying to basically create two roles. You can either be a bypasser, which is kind of how I'm acting right now, where I'm talking to some of these people or engaging with them, influencing them. I can gain achievements from doing that. I can get rewards, that kind of stuff. Or you can be someone who actually creates a planet jumper, which we're calling, basically, this is our playable character. And what's really cool about this is, if you pay the fee or whatever, you can create a character, give them a backstory, and we're using Dolly to create an image. I already have one here. I'll show you. I made Kyle Tutt, our CEO. Not the most accurate, but still pretty fun. And by creating that, what's really cool is it's going to create them a TBA on-chain, and it's going to do it during the minting process. So as you create a character, it's going to create the Tokenbound account, and it's going to fuel it up with some food and some supplies and credits. And we're also adding in a whole bunch of extra stuff, such as trust, which is a new attribute that basically allows people to, it adds like a little bit more complexities and allows some different actions, as well as weapons as another item. So with trust, what's really interesting about that is you can now steal or attack other players if you have weapons or stuff like that, and doing so will reduce your trust. And having smaller amounts of trust limits what actions you can do in the game, so it's kind of like a balance factor. But also you can gain trust by defending the settlement when there's like a settlement attack, if you have a weapon, and it keeps your health from going down, all the different stuff. So pretty cool. And essentially we have this feed of different characters, and you can open up each little box to see what items or things they have, what their location is. And we have a map here. So we have 2 people at the supply depot and a few more at the bar, which is kind of like the starting point. And yeah, so from here, we can actually either click on engage or just start talking to them. So I'm going to do it this way, which is kind of fun. And let's do Nova Steel. I haven't talked to that one yet. And when you do this, it's going to bring up XMTP, and it's basically going to sign a transaction so you can actually communicate with them wallet to wallet with encrypted messaging. So we'll open that up, and I could just say, let's see. Remember who I talked, Nova. Hey, Nova. Hold on, there we go. It's a little finicky. Hey, Nova, can you read me? And what this is going to do is send a message to them, and OpenAI is going to take in their backstory and their metadata and use it as like their DNA to give them personality. And we're also using OpenAI embeddings to make them aware of certain things, like what is your location? Or we can ask them like how many items they have. And so they're completely aware of who they are, what they have, what items they have. And we also give them the game rules, so they know different options they can make. And the really cool thing about this is, since we have all this set up and we actually have them able to do function calling through OpenAI, we can have them do on-chain actions. So we can say, I think you should visit the supply depot. And if all goes as planned, testnet, of course, so it's a little finicky, it's going to trigger an on-chain action, and it's going to move them and their player state from bar to supply depot. And this updates pretty regularly, not every single time you do something, just because it's getting on-chain information, on-chain state, finding some ways to make that faster. But this is how you can do, essentially NPC that has 6551 AI and allows it to make on-chain decisions. And what's really cool is, with this logic and with this setup, we can have a cron job that pushes every NPC to make a decision every hour. So while you're gone, they're like making decisions, whether it's going to a new location, getting supplies, selling, buying, stealing, attacking. All these different things are happening while you're not here. And so when you come back, you have a totally different layout of stuff that's happening. Some other things that we're working on that aren't quite ready yet. Something that you can do is called Bankroll. And what's interesting about Bankroll is that it allows a person who doesn't have a playable character to really alter the game and perhaps get more achievements minted to them, which are like 1155 tokens. Bankroll allows you to accelerate the decision making of NPCs. So I can bankroll a specific character for like a small amount of money, and this character will now make decisions twice as fast, which is like a really interesting dynamic as well. And I think that's about it what we have for now. We are doing signups for beta testing. So if you visit cosmiccowboys.cloud, you can submit your email, and we're going to start rolling out beta access, I think, as soon as this week. And we're going to have the ability to create planet jumpers for people. You can start, using them, and we'll have a separate UI where you can actually play as that character and do some really interesting stuff. Yeah, I think that's about it. We're really excited about it.
Holy shit. Damn. Steve, that's super cool. And yeah, I think the community is super pumped by it. Yeah, definitely let us know when it's available for us to play. And yeah, really amazing job. So you guys did that during the hackathon. Like, was the hackathon just a few days, or was it like several weeks?
Well, that was the ETH Online, so that was about 2 weeks. So we did have a good bit of time to build it from the ground up, and I think our first edition was not as advanced as this one. We've added a lot more stuff. It's a very beefy contract right now compared to what it was. But yeah, the initial concept is what we really wanted to nail down, and we're pretty excited. And we do have some plans too to open up, like think of ways to open up the game engine and allow people to create their own games using this model. And we're also looking at ways to, we also want to make the game, since it's on chain, anybody can build a UI on top of it. Our certain website is text-based, but in theory, anyone with the right tools and all the right information can build like a 2D or 3D environment to, play with this game. So pretty exciting stuff.
Amazing. And I don't know if you guys all watched, but OpenAI had their dev day, and you've probably seen Sam Altman. He was talking about the GPT. You could now build your own GPT, or their form of an app store, and you can have agents now that can perform actions on your behalf for productivity reasons. And I think it's such a timely thing. And even last night, Ian from Syndicate was playing around with OpenAI, having it, the API, to having it do on-chain transactions. So I think what's really amazing is that this is something that we as a community have kind of like put the pieces together, and we know that it has been emerging. So that's why we've had NPC Day, and Steve, you've been exploring Cosmic Cowboys and all of that. So yeah, I think, like as I said, 6 months into the future, we're gonna start to see like this explosion of the convergence of AI autonomous agents that are going to be performing on-chain actions. There's going to be a lot of names being thrown around: agents, NPCs, etc. Yeah, so this is really cool to see it from a game context. I think previous to this, if you watch the Parallel demo that was been recorded at NPC Day, it's uploaded onto our YouTube. You can see that they also demoed like a kind of like a very basic interface of talking to characters. So yeah, this is going to be a huge category. So awesome work, Steve and the Pinata team. All right, I'm going to pass it to Sweetman.
Steve, that was a really amazing demo. And I'm going to be building on the NPC thought. What we've built this week is V3 X Zora. So you're going to connect your wallet. You're going to select a Tokenbound. And can you hear me okay? I'm connecting from kind of a low Wi-Fi area.
It's good.
Okay. So first you connect your Wi-Fi, you connect your wallet, and then you can see all of your tokens, in this case, creators. I'm going to put 333, get some angel numbers, and then you click me for V3. You can see the Tokenbound account. And so we're going to sign one transaction on, this is on testnet, so Guerli, but essentially on ETH mainnet. And so the case right now is, let's say I want to tell a story, or I want to create some IP from the context of my creator. So if each of my tokens is a character, each of them, like Benny's been doing with his NFT, it's going to write essays, it's going to upload videos, it's going to tell its own story. And so when it wants to tell its own story, you're going to upload content. And in my opinion, the best place to upload content is onto Zora. And so what we just did, I believe I just did this. Let me open this transaction. This was 21 seconds ago, so this just happened. And the transaction we signed was an execute in the smart wallet into the, this is the Oracle, what's it actually called? Optimism portal. So there's a bridge. And so we signed a transaction into the bridge, and then it's going to come out on the other side on Optimism. And so I'll refresh the same wallet address. Here's the wallet address. I think I'm already looking at it. The last one was 28 minutes ago, so it looks like it has not come through yet onto the other side. But while I'm waiting for it, there's essentially 3 transactions that are coming under the hood. The first one that I signed was an execute on the Tokenbound account. That execute then passes in information to be able to do a deposit transaction into the Optimism portal. And then on the other side, once that transaction makes it over to Optimism, which hopefully it does in the next couple seconds. If it doesn't, I've done some 30 minutes ago and we can just show that. But when it comes over here, it then fires another execute transaction. And then that execute is going to interact with Zora to create a drop. So if it's still not here, okay, I don't know why it's taken a while to come to the other side, but here's one I did 30 minutes ago. You go to the internal transactions and you'll see that a new contract gets created. And then we can copy that contract and then just paste it into Zora. And then we can see that we just created a Zora drop using our Tokenbound account on ETH mainnet, or in this case on Guerli. We were able to create a drop on another chain, in this case on Optimism Guerli, to tell the story that our Tokenbound accounts are doing. So in this case, this Tokenbound account that I made is on the beach in Brazil, and he made a song. And so he took a photo, he made a song, you can listen to the song, you can mint the song, and all of this lives inside of the Tokenbound account. So here's the Tokenbound address, 0xDA88. And then over here, we can see that the owner of the drop is D88. And also all the funds are going to go into that smart wallet. And so now as my Tokenbound account is telling its story, making new IP, photos, videos, whatever it is, I can drop that directly on Zora, signed by my smart wallet on any chain that I want. And then if I ever decide, okay, I've built a cool channel, this channel has a great story, the character has interactions with other characters, it has relationships, it has lens profiles. And then if I ever want to sell it, if I sell this NFT to someone else, they then have the ability to manage the IP as well. So like we already know, the IP will sit inside of the wallet on OpenSea, but additionally, they can then go in and manage the drop on Zora. And so if they want to change the price, if they want to change the metadata, they can then have access to manage the IP over time as well, in addition to just the tokens that they hold. I'm going to check one more time, but if it didn't come through, I'll stop there. There it is. Okay, so it did come through, and I'll show the actual one then. So here's the transaction that came through. Here's the contract that got created. I'll copy the Zora drop. It's the exact same metadata, but different contract address. So I'll just show this one, and then that'll be it. So here's the same drop, new contract address, but you can mint it, and then all the fees go to the smart wallet.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
So I guess I have a question. I have a few questions for you, sweet man. So how do you kind of imagine this playing out? Like, what do you kind of taking this thesis a little bit further? Like, where do you want it to go?
After seeing Steve's demo, I think there's going to be some intersections with AI. Right now, I'm thinking through it in kind of a manual fashion of I'm manually the owner of the NFT, kind of telling the story for my creator. But Steve's idea, and I think where you guys are heading, is using AI. If I can fill it in with a backstory and then automate it with an AI and give it $50 on a test net, that's going to go a long way for the AI and the wallet to be able to create its own story. but I think storytelling. I just got off a call with Bradley from Lens, and I like where his mind's going to of like the Marvel studio and thinking through like I have an entire set of characters in my library, and I can tell stories from one of their perspectives. But moving forward, I can start to create my own Avengers team, and I can have my little noun and my creator and a character from a different collection all telling stories together, and I can remix the stories and I can put them on a split together and they can all do a Zora drop together, and I can start to build my own Marvel universe of my token bound accounts. And if a character gets successful and a licensing company like a Disney wants to acquire that IP as well as all the drops, I can sell them that. And then if Disney then says, okay, we want to change some of the metadata on some of these drops, they can go into Zora, manage the drops. And this feels like the future of IP management. And so like I work with a lot of musicians and a lot of entertainment companies. And so I'm starting to tell this story to them of like the future of IP management is in token bound accounts.
That's incredible. Thanks for that, sweet man. And I think that, you know, the music NFT space, I think folks have been following it for a while. Me myself, I've been a big supporter of Stems DAO and Sound.xyz during the early stage, and was also close with Mahan, who was the previous head of innovation at Spotify, and been thinking a lot about music. And I think that, as you said, sweet man, like this kind of extension of the combination of like the NFT having all the kind of IP management of the creations, and like having the artist being involved in that loop is super powerful. So that's super cool. Thanks for that demo, man. This week we've got some incredible projects. So Ash, I'm gonna give the microphone to you. How are things on your end?
Hey, good morning. All good. I'm Ash. I started working on this project since ETH Waterloo. I mean, it was an inception. It started from thinking about like collectibles and signatures. Vitalik was like signing kids' sketchbooks after his talk, and I didn't have a sketchbook, so I was like, wouldn't it be cool if he could have just signed my doodle? And wouldn't it even make more sense for him to sign a digital collectible instead of a piece of paper? Made a demo of it, showed it to a couple of friends. We started chatting, and then months later, we started building it, and it sprung into 2 different sides. So let me just share my screen here. So now it has 2 different sides. First, it was supposed to be an app that would be used in person. And then we were thinking of how could we turn that into a web application where people can interact with each other remotely, where it went to 2 sides. One side is now has turned into an art commissioning tool. It was basically based on the observation that people are commissioning and creating art derivatives of people's PFP on in their Twitter DMs, and basically doing trust trades and saving things as a JPEG. So there was no tools, there was no provenance, and nothing essentially to them. So we decided to basically create a platform where they could do it through the usage of our tools. And sorry, just a sec. So we're gonna basically commission ourselves a piece of art today from one account to another. So with this one, I'm logged into as like Binary Studio is hypothetically the artist, and the other one that you saw is my personal Twitter account. What happens is that basically we're basing every user's name based on their Twitter handle to help them like navigate and find each other easier. To have the security for your peace of mind, basically you don't need to connect the wallet that your collectibles are actually in. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting so many notifications here. So basically, you could just like copy paste your address. So that's like ash.vault is my cold storage. And you can basically add collections as many as you want by just copy pasting the address and then connect the burner for your method of payment or transaction. Navigating to an NFT that you want will then, like, this is just basically the the test NFT we're using, because I didn't want actually artwork that I haven't done to be attached to any of my PFPs. But you navigate there and you write down a Twitter handle. It doesn't matter if they're on Binder or not. If they're not on Binder yet, there's an extra step, but you could also send offers to those who aren't on Binder yet. We're gonna use Gory because Gwei is 140 right now. Or you know what? Actually, let's use a proper PFP so you see the point of the. So, okay, here's an alien friend I have forever, and so we're gonna commission something for this alien friend using the testnet. We're not sending it to Elon Musk. Sorry, Binder. There we go. Hi Binder, could you send me a cool version of this alien as a farmer standing in a field? So you basically just type like the description of what you want. We're gonna have a link included here and an image so that you can like easier communicate yourself to the artist of what you're looking for. And the next step will be to like apply network abstraction. So like you don't have to like switch back and forth between things, and you can just pay normal ETH to interact with having NFTs minted on Base or Polygon, because mainnet fees are ridiculous, and we can't imagine our user base wanting to do that for low effort art derivatives. Though the ones that are spent like $200 on, that's way more likely to happen. Cool. So I think that's been sent. There we go. So now we've sent an offer to the artist hypothetically Binder Studio, and that individual can go here and they can see that they received an offer from my personal account. And it comes with like which PFP are they drawing for, the token ID and everything, and what are they asking for. So they have a period where they could accept the offer and then submit the artwork, kind of similar to how Fiverr works. That basically there's an escrow, holds funds, and then artist has like a limited number of days to deliver the artwork. This is just AI generated just for the purposes of demoing. Call it Green Alien. There we go. And this is just the testnet contract that we're just demoing with. Network. So yeah, that's just minting right now. And basically from the person who sent the offer, they could go to the request section and see that they're still pending, which step of the way they are. That the artist has basically accepted the offer, but they're still in the process of creating the artwork. I wonder if I should speed up the transaction.
All good, yeah.
There's crazy gas spikes today. It was 300 way before I joined the call.
That's insane.
Yeah. Speed it up. But yeah, basically it's like to allow a platform to have trustless art commissions, whether it's like derivative or original art. We decided to focus on the derivatives for now because there's an active community of artists and collectors. Whoa, what happened here? But they were doing it all through DMs and without the use of any tools. So this demo didn't go as planned. All right. Yes. So yeah, you have to switch back to the main network for your actual collection to display. That's why it wasn't there. I have no idea what happened there, but don't want to waste your times. That's basically it. I don't know why it didn't go through, but
all good, Ash. Yeah, I mean, it's always one of the, it's like the demo thing, right? Where when you demo, it's always like
yeah,
you go wrong. But I think in any case, like talk to us about where you want to take Binder. Like where do you kind of where's the next steps for you?
Yeah, so on the short side, we're also focusing in parallel on the signature booth, which is like a live experience of interacting with an artist or a celebrity where they're doing a live Twitter space or, okay, there we go, it's finally sent. When they're basically doing a live Twitter space or they're on Instagram or Clubhouse or wherever, and they could drop a link with a limited supply of the tokens they're willing to sign. So pre-hand, we would have a contract launch for them where they could whitelist the tokens that are allowed to participate and how many they're willing to sign. And it's a one-time link use. So when they send it down, it's kind of like just a POAP, but where it's like there's a personal touch to it instead of it being like a stamp. So we're building that in parallel with this, and after that's over, we're gonna focus on just making the whole flow a little bit more smoother, maybe reduce a couple of steps or add a network abstraction where people don't have to like switch between networks to participate, and moving from like the derivative commissions to asset-based commissions and dynamic remix of their images. But eventually from this stuff, we hope to like add a timeline where it just like exhibits everyone interaction, whether it's on our platform or just the wallets that have been connected to our platform, and kind of create a something between a marketplace and a social media. So just imagine if you're on Twitter, you're scrolling, you see something you like, you can offer to buy it, or if it's available for sale, you could buy it instantly. You could send it art commissions to create artwork for it, or ask artwork for it to be made. And we imagine the future of a marketplace to have a different experience than OpenSea. That's basically like an Amazon where people are just mindlessly scrolling through different categories from kitchen appliances to pet foods and car parts and hoarding a bunch of them, and for the main purpose of selling it to someone else for a profit. But we think the next generation of like users are going to be collectors who actually want the things they buy and they're after the end products, and it's more likely for them to come across it on social media platform and interact with it based on their online activities as opposed to like what's happening nowadays.
That's awesome, Matt. Thanks for that demo. Really, really appreciate it. And it did remind me of some, I don't know if you guys have seen the IYK collab with 90cc or Mintage, but yeah, the whole idea is like a physical hat that has an NFC chip, and They've recently, well, not recently, a few months ago, they introduced the autograph module. And it's really interesting because you wear the hat, right, in person. And then if you go up to your friends or Vitalik or something, they tap their phone on the NFC chip of your hat. And then they can sign with their finger and it mints the autograph into the hat. Which I think we're going to start to see a lot of this, I believe. I think it's a fantastic idea of like having, creating value for the objects that you own beyond just like, pumping it on Twitter, right? Or Discord. And it's like, oh, what if you were able to collect the signatures of, this is like the typical sports thing, right? You get like the athletes, the designers, and even IYK did like the vintage jean jackets. They are using Tokenbound accounts, and they have these patches that are physical as well that they actually stitch on to the jacket. It's not, they don't update the metadata of the digital jacket, but all of these patches are with different artists that this person had bought. And if you see the jacket in real life, they have all these patches on them. So it's a really interesting idea of like, what does it mean to have human signatures or human contributing to the objects, whether that's digital derivatives or physical signatures. So really, really cool idea. Cool. Anyone else? I'm going to pass it to Jason to go over some of the Airstack stuff next. But if there's anyone who just recently joined, who have thoughts or questions, it could be technical or non-technical, or you want to do a demo, now's the time. Just raise your hand and we'll get to you. So Jason, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So I wasn't planning to present today, but I'll go really quick to show everyone some capabilities here. So first of all, at Airstack, we are an API provider. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible for everyone to be able to build awesome 6551 based applications. And so we've gone really deep and fast into indexing 6551. Just to show you the 6551 tutorials that we have here. With Airstack, you can traverse the entire 6551 tree. So you can start with an NFT and go up or down the tree to see that NFT owned by a 6551, that's owned by a 6551, that's owned by a 6551, that's say owned by a Lens handle, that's owned by Bradley, whoever it might be, or the reverse. So you can traverse up and down the tree in any direction. You can also start with an NFT and get all the 6551s that are owned by that NFT. You can also get all the images and all the holders and then use it for various purposes. Just to show everyone a few aspects of this as you think about us as a resource to build in your applications. In the Airstack API Studio, the accounts section is all about 6551. And pretty much any type of detail you could think about that you might want to get about a 6551 and the assets that it holds are here. And we support the V3 registry, the previous registries. And then if anyone has a custom registry you're using, just let us know and we can add it very easily. I'll just do a simple query here using AI to show you as well. Show the most recent 6551 accounts deployed on Ethereum. And the AI will structure this query for you. So you can write it manually if you're familiar with GraphQL. What's nice about the AI is it just helps you learn the APIs, and you can see it's getting all the details here. So here is, it just fetched the most recent 6551 accounts that were deployed on Ethereum. And you can add more details to them as well. So let's see, I'll add addresses, I can add, and you can do all sorts of different queries on this as well. You can also do Polygon. As I mentioned, we're also adding Base, should be early next week. And then we'll do more chains as well. One nice thing that you can do to think about how you would use all this is, so I can take, we have the third component, if you think about, one is the APIs, the other is the docs tutorials, the third is this Explorer. And the Airstack Explorer is just a visual representation of the Airstack APIs. It's meant for anyone to take it, fork it, steal it, do whatever you want with it. Our main business is providing the APIs. We want everyone else to do the front ends. But what you can do with the Explorer here is you can, it's a good example of how you can see 6551s in action. So here's, for instance, Sapiens, and I'm just going to explore this ping and there stack APIs in real time. Here's all the owners of Sapiens, and you can see this one has a 6551 account. So I can click in on here, and I can say, okay, here is a 6551 account, a TBA that owns these other assets, and I can view the holders of the Sapiens. Do this also, let's say, starting with someone's lens. So this is a lens user, lens Chisco. This is all their NFTs, all their socials, identity, their ERC20 tokens. I can narrow in on their 6551 accounts. And here you can see, okay, there's that Sapiens, and can dive in here and see the assets. And this is something, as I said, like we provide all this to everyone. You can use this in your applications any way you want, including all the images, all the metadata you can get from AirStack. If I go back here, I'll show you, if I go back to the APIs here, so these are the most recent 6551 accounts deployed on Ethereum. So let's say I take this identity, which identity in this case is the owner of this 6551 or the address 6551. I can go here, put it in here, boom, and there it is. So this is the 6551 account and the details of it. So it owns actually some USDC. I can see it's from this collection Beep. And so that's one. I can go down, let's do another one. So this is so you can actually see this is a person, their ID is Malston on Farcaster, owns this. They have an XMTP. They're also on Lens, and this is the 6551 account that it is here. So I just want to show you can traverse this in all sorts of different directions, and we help you visualize it. Just following this for one more second, I can go back here and say, all right, F name. Just gonna look at this Farcaster user now, I'm curious. So this is a Farcaster user. There is his Farcaster's Lens, XMTP, and his 6551 accounts. Very fast demo, just to show you all these capabilities that are here, and would love to work with you all to build all sorts of ways of using and visualizing 6551s into your apps. That's all I had.
That's awesome, Jason. Thank you for that. Okay, Bradley, we're going to pass the mic to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Benny. I'm Bradley. I'm the Senior Growth Manager on the Lens Protocol team. Super cool to see some familiar faces in here. And I've missed a couple of the last few of these, but I'm excited to be back. Expect to see me on all of them. I basically had a question for the group, and I've learned this through experience with one of the project that's implementing sign-in with NFT, and if there's any opportunities or capabilities to make the sign-in flow a bit easier or simpler. I know myself and a lot of other Lens profile holders are really interested to experiment and try logging into NFT to a variety of applications and dApps. And, the onboarding flow, I'd say, is the challenge right now, sort of representative of some of the other users. So I'm curious if there's anyone here who's interested in or is working on ways to make that flow a bit smoother.
And Bradley, you're talking about Wallet Connect, right? Or what?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you walk us through what the flow is, and then what you think would be the best flow, and what it is presently?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me show you what this sort of looks like right now. I'll share my screen if that's all right. Let's just say, for example, I wanted to go claim a Lens profile from our page, but this could represent any sort of website. So if I go, I have to first figure out which NFT I want to log in with. So let me switch networks here. I have to find the NFT I want. I have to figure out how to get to, like, let's say this page. This is my Galverse, I shouldn't say Galverse NFT. And then I'd have to click like login with NFT, and then I have to come here and connect wallet connect, copy, come back here, paste. I don't know, it's not popping up right now, but paste the login with NFT piece, and then connect. And that part has been it's challenging. I figured it out, but I think it's just a lot. Logging into crypto dApps is hard enough, and if there were opportunities to simplify it, that would be really amazing. I think I'm not a developer, but one of the things that comes to mind is being able to more quickly find the NFT you're looking for. Imagine like a search bar or something, and that would direct you to the correct page on the tokenbound.org page to connect with NFT.
Yeah, that's super helpful, Bradley. We have Alana on the call. If Alana, if you have some spare cycles, definitely sit down with Bradley and the community and kind of like, let's see what we can do from like a design perspective. Certainly there are limitations with the Wallet Connect flow in terms of like passing the information between the two. I remember me and Jaden had several conversations of like what alternatives are available, or like what are some really smart ways to do it. We had some one day we were playing around with like, what if it was like sound waves that were passed through your I don't know, through your mobile phone to the computer. Like, yeah, so we've been looking into it. It's definitely a challenge that is going to be here, especially one that if we're imagining more people wanting to log in as their NFTs. So it is a high importance, something that we were thinking a lot about. So, Alana, if you want to sync up with Bradley, sometime next week, and it'll be a really cool thing to kind of go through. And I'm sure the devs too probably have opinions too. So, with that said, I think we're nearing right at time. So just to be cognizant, because we already daylight saving times, everyone's got pushed 1 hour forward. I wanted to say thank you everyone for joining. And as always, we have the Telegram group. So definitely use that as the bouncing board for any thoughts or remaining questions that you may have. And again, thank you so much for showing up for the 30th weekly dev call. We're going to wrap up here. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a good rest of your Thursday, everybody. Amazing work for everyone who demoed. Thank you. I'll stay on here for a few minutes. Once you want to enjoy some base, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you all. See you next time, Aaron. See you, Pepper. All right, we'll give it one more minute. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Really appreciate it.